Hey there guys, just gonna do another video where I ramble about some things while I do dailies. You know the routine by now, hopefully. The topic for today, though, is going to be something that I've been thinking about for a good little bit, and I had a pretty long discussion with some friends about it a while ago, and it revolves around new players and the new player experience in general, and sort of the things that go around that. Before I start rambling off about everything under the sun, if you could like the video so other people can see it. And obviously, if you could subscribe if you haven't yet and you watch my videos still. Trying to go for 500. We are getting very close. We can do it. I believe in you, and I believe in me for believing in you. So that's double belief. Anyways, new player experience. I just think back to how it was for me starting this game. I had known about this game for a while. I never followed it too closely. I never played the Russian version, never played the Korean version. I never looked super deeply into it. I played the North American beta for like a couple hours maybe. Nothing too serious. Basically went into this game with very little knowledge, pretty green. But that's not to say that I'm an MMO like child. I have played games my entire life, played WoW for a bazillion years, played PoE, all that, tons of stuff, you know? Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm not new to video games, I'm not new to like tons of these systems, but there was so much coming into Lost Ark that a lot of the systems I just outright ignored for months because there was so much to try to understand all at once. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we kind of got a game that had already been released after being out for a couple years. You know what I mean? So like all these systems slowly got added to the game, and for us it just was there at the beginning, you know, like islands, stuff like that, just all the systems. And to expand on it a little bit more, like engravings I pretty much didn't touch in any serious capacity for the first month or so of the game, maybe like 3 weeks, before I even tried to understand them. I just slapped on a class engraving, double class engraving, and then just left it because I don't know. There's just a lot to take in at once. And then obviously trying to figure out the whole islands, how to get materials, how to hone, all that stuff. The honing stuff is less relevant now because of all the global honing buffs, and tier 1 and tier 2 is basically I was gonna say it's basically a tutorial, but it really is just like a glorified tutorial. Since it's 100% pass rate, you could probably get up to tier 3 from tier 1 as your first character relatively quickly now. If you know what you're doing, at least. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you'd probably get there relatively quickly. But anyways, my entire point is there's a lot to learn when you're new to the game, and that's coming from somebody who is relatively experienced, a veteran of the genre, I think is what I'm looking for. And so this just makes me wonder, like, how is like the generic new player experience for like the average person? Because I'm not the only one who had all these issues, you know? Like I said, I was talking with some friends a while ago, and I mean, they're relatively similar to me, you know? We're all like MMO vets, we all played a ton of games for tons of years. And it's just, there are so many things that we just missed them, or we just didn't have the capacity to learn them all together or something. I'm not sure, like, maybe it's just like a brain difference between people, and maybe we're the outliers, but I feel like this is it's a pretty severe thing, and I just wonder if we don't get new players, the game will eventually get to a point to where it stagnates and then starts declining. And that's not something that you want for a game. Especially if you enjoy playing the game, which I do. I like Lost Ark a lot. Surprise, surprise. Why do you think I'm making content and trying to do this sort of more as a main focus rather than a side thing? But for the health of the game, you need an influx of new players, a stream, so to speak. And I think the barrier to entry on like a base mechanical level in terms of the game's systems is just... I don't know, man. It's like, I think the best comparison I can give is like, people will see like the PoE passive tree and just be intimidated by how big it is. I feel like Lost Ark is like that, but instead of one big tree, it's a bunch of smaller trees that you don't know are there until you start playing it. And then you start reading about one thing, and then you realize you have to learn 3 other things, and then you have to figure out what an Adventure Island is, what the Proxion Compass is, what engravings are, what a malice is. Like, for somebody who's playing the game and who has played the game, obviously all of this makes like relative sense. But you have to understand from a new person's perspective, like, that is a lot of information to try to take in when you're looking up one thing. I worry, and I wonder 2 things, I guess. Is the new player experience really as bad as I perceive it to be? Or am I just the outlier in this situation? Me and my friends are the outliers in that we just didn't pick up the game as fast as maybe we should have, and it's just like a brain difference, a brain gap. Or is the new player experience definitely not as welcoming as it could be, or maybe should be? And I mean, this isn't even getting into like the actual, like, I shouldn't say actual, but like other barriers for new players, such as like the pricing of things, the income of gold, like the prohibitive gold honing cost relative to your income, the learning party problem, the busing issues, the fact, you know, it's not even touching that. I'm just talking about like a base mechanical systems level. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. It's something I've been thinking about, and it worries me because I'm not sure what we can do as a community to make it easier for people to both get into the game and feel like it's easy to pick up and not overwhelming, an overwhelming mess of systems. I don't know. Like I said, please leave your thoughts below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it's just a me problem. I mean, it could be, but I just worry about the new player systems and the new player stream, because again, having your game stagnate is bad. I guess I should say it's not necessarily bad, but it can be bad, because stagnation can lead to decline, and when you start declining, that's when you're in a bad spot. Alright, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you dislike it, of course, dislike it. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 500, I need it. I want it. I breathe it. See you in the next one, guys. Bye!